Hello there. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Brad Walsh, host of the Empowerography podcast. I'm here with you today, and I've got very special guest, Jordana Bachelor from Be Beauty Salon, based here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Jordana.
Hi.
How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How's your day going so far?
It's been a good day. Rainy day, but a good day.
Excellent. So I'm just going to jump right in here and start with a few questions. I'm just curious, what got you excited about starting your own business, Jordana?
Well, there's many things I could really go on about that. But really for me, I got it working in beauty and I loved it. And I worked for other people. And I found that the way that other people were running their businesses or just how I was as an employee wasn't quite exactly how I would do things. And I found little holes that I felt like I could fill. And I just wanted to provide a better service for my clients. And I also wanted to create a better life for myself where I had the ability to do these things for other people. And just, I feel more fulfilled that way. If I'm making people happy, that's why I do what I do.
Excellent. You said you started out working for other people in the beauty industry. What job, how did you start out in the beauty industry? What was your job when you first started out?
So my very first job, I'm originally from the Niagara region, and So I started working for a beautiful, beautiful facial spa there in Niagara Falls, and it was awesome. It was great. It's just when I first started, she just had opened her business, so it was pretty slow. So I needed to make money to support myself.
Right.
So then I came to Toronto, and I found a position very quickly compared to Niagara. There's a little bit less work available in that region versus here in Toronto. And so I found a job working at a lash and brow bar, and I learned a lot from working from there, but I did find that they're more focused on just building that brand and not so much focusing on how their staff might necessarily be able to grow and benefit the company, and how their clients might have, there's better options for their clients. And I felt like I couldn't connect with them the way that I'm now able to do. And I just wanted to give them more than I could.
Yeah.
So I started off that. And then from there, I knew I wanted to do something with lashes, makeup, and brows. And I didn't want to compete with myself. So I started working as a waxologist, knowing that I didn't want to continue doing that, but still related to my industry. And not competing with doing all these things on the side. So I'd still do wedding makeup. I'd still do music festivals with creative makeup, do photo shoots. I'd still do lashes at home. I'd still do everything else. But then that way I wasn't competing. And so that gave me the ability to grow my business on the side without realizing that's exactly what I was doing. I was growing my business, and then eventually it just kind of formed itself, and I didn't really see any other option. It was just, this was my path. It's either this or I'm stuck doing something that I'm not really happy doing, even though it's what I love to do. It just didn't quite fulfill me and didn't really make me happy, and I wasn't growing or learning. So I kind of just took the direction that seemed like the only clear path for me, which was not the same as anyone else. But I feel like if you're an entrepreneur, you kind of have to take your own path and see where all these little gaps are that make you happier.
Right. Yeah. You got to forge your own path as an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing, though. Did you have any formal training, or are you all self-taught?
Well, within the beauty industry, for example, with being a makeup artist here in Canada, you don't necessarily have to have a certification. So I do definitely have a certification as a makeup artist. I didn't go directly to a college or anything like that to get all my beauty certifications. I took a little bit of a different route. All of the schools around me, or that I had easy access to, I suppose, they would teach you more all aesthetics and maybe touch on the things that I really wanted to learn. So, for example, they might be really good at teaching nails, but only talk about makeup for a short period of time. Whereas I personally, I don't think I would be very good at nails, and I didn't have a passion for it. So I just went to certain places that I knew would provide me with a better education, specializing in those things. And I learned them, and then I took another training course, and then I learned that, and then I took another training course. So first thing I did was start off with makeup. Shortly after that, I did just like brow shaping, waxing, and threading, and tinting. And then I got into lashes, and then I grew from there with taking more courses, more boot camps, working with more artists, and developing myself that way. So you kind of have to, in being creative in any industry, you kind of have to see what path works best for you and how you're going to grow as an individual, because it's such a creative thing, but getting the ground foundations definitely makes a huge difference.
Right. And I'm sure training is constant in the industry, and as an entrepreneur, you've got to keep on top of trends and stuff in the industry. And I would assume it's the same within the beauty industry as well. You've got constant training and updating on training and things like that, correct?
You definitely do, but at the same time, I don't necessarily look at it as just flat out, you have to stay on top of it. It's something that if you really like it, then you're just going to naturally be drawn to it. I mean, there's certain things in business that I'm not as excited about in terms of like doing all like the background paperwork stuff. But now that I'm in it, I'm more excited about, oh, this is way easier this way, or, oh, I can do it that way. So in the end, it might not be my favorite part, but you definitely get more involved in it, and it should be a lot more exciting. It's scary in the beginning, learning when you're not excited, but it definitely gets better.
Yeah, I think all of us as entrepreneurs, there are certain aspects of the business that we just don't want to deal with, but we have to as entrepreneurs, because unless, of course, you farm it out or source it out to other people to take care of the stuff you don't like, which is always an option too, I guess, right? Sure.
My accountant is my savior.
What have you found is one of the most frustrating things about being an entrepreneur?
I guess just personal growth it's a beautiful thing, but it is always a struggle. So, learning how to handle yourself and how to push yourself, but at the same time, giving yourself that downtime is also very important. So I personally keep track of how many hours in a week that I work, because if I feel like if I don't, then one day I'll be like, oh, I didn't get as much done today. But like the 2 days before, I was working 12 to 16 hour days. It's just like, okay, well, that week you did do a lot. So you should probably be able to relax. I do find I can't turn my brain off all the time. And I do think that doing other things for myself. So I work out, and I find that that's a good time for me. And in general, it energizes myself, and I make sure that I do that on a regular basis, because it does bring me back to myself and my roots and why I love doing what I do, instead of if I'm just go, always thinking about work, it becomes work instead of my passion. So I think that is one thing. And over this past year, another thing, over this past year, I recently expanded my business to a bigger, beautiful space, and I'm very happy here. But learning that things take time is also a big thing to learn and understand, and just have patience. But that's also, I think, a personal thing that I'm learning about myself, and just wait for other people, prepare. So things like that, I think, are probably the hardest things that I constantly am just trying to balance out with myself and get better and learn more about myself and how I can benefit.
Yeah, patience.
My job, but also outside of it.
For sure. It's tough because we want things to happen a lot quicker than they do. But then I think, if you look back, when you've gone through and done certain things and you look back on it, you when it was happening, you're like, oh, this isn't happening quick enough. And when you take a step back and look, and you think, sometimes it did happen okay. I mean, like I said, we want them to happen quicker than they do. But if you stand back and look at it, it's not that bad. But you do need to take time for yourself, because if you keep going and going and going, you're going to burn out. And then where's your business going to be if you're all burnt out? You won't be able to do anything. So you need to take that downtime and the time for you. And so how many hours would you say you work typically a day?
It does definitely range, but probably between the 10 and 12 hour range.
It just depends on how many clients you have during the day. And
a lot of it is, right now I'm doing a lot of back-end foundation building. So even if I don't have a lot of clients, I still make sure I give myself time to get other stuff done, because there's always something I could be working on. So if I'm not needing time to do something personally for myself, I make sure that I'm, at work trying to get some stuff done. Because I think that I can always get things done. And then that way, when I want to take a bit more time off, for example, last weekend I had a wedding, I can just fully enjoy myself. I'm not behind on things, and I can let myself relax and not think about, oh, I want to get this done, or I didn't do that thing for my website, because I know that I'm doing what I can and I'm happy about it. And moving forward, I do plan on relaxing a bit more and taking 2 days off instead of 1 day off. But right now,
you're currently working 6 days a week?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I guess though too, I mean, I don't know about you, but I find that as an entrepreneur. When I'm working, if I'm working 12, 15, 16-hour days, or I'm working, let's say 7 days a week, I mean, it may not be 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, but I don't look at it. It doesn't feel like work to me because I love what I'm doing. So it doesn't feel like I'm working where like when you're working for someone else and you're working a 12 or 14-hour day, it's brutal. You just want to go home. But when it's for yourself, it's a very different story. It's a different feeling.
Definitely, for sure. And there's things like I can edit things and plan my social media posts and things like that. I can edit all my photos on my phone while I'm sitting on my couch kind of thing. So I always take those little moments to get things done when I can. If you're sitting there just twiddling your fingers, you might as well just be editing a photo because it's fun. And you're like, ooh, I like this one. Oh, I like that one. So kind of squeeze those in where you can because you just want to work on it and it's fun. It's not, I mean, at the end of the day, I do calculate, if I'm sitting for 3 hours editing photos, it's still working. But if I'm just sitting at home on my couch eating ice cream, editing photos, that's not so bad, right? That's pretty easy.
That's true. Is there anything that you wish you had known when you first started out? In business, I mean?
Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of, I guess there's always things that would be nice if I had known in advance, for sure. But a lot of it you kind of have to just experience to learn for yourself and how it works for you. I do have other like entrepreneur friends who we have conversations, and I do find that surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurs just elevates your conversation and you grow as a person and you grow. It's really, really nice to have those conversations, but whatever path I have is not going to be the same as theirs. So it's nice to just talk about it and give them other viewpoints. But at the same time, even if someone were to tell me something, I find it's better off to figure it out on your own, just maybe be guided. But I guess in terms of what I wish I had known, I definitely care way too much about things that I shouldn't, and I put too much energy into things and I put too much emotion into it. And I think I just wish I could tell myself, even to this day, I remind myself all the time, I'm like, maybe care a little less, not to say care less because everything's important, but okay, that photo is not going to make a difference if it's this shade or that shade. Like really just pick one. Right. I need to spend less time with these little things that don't necessarily matter, even though attention to detail is very important as long as it flows with the brand, but sticking to my point and not working on multiple things at once. It definitely would be very helpful if I could focus on that earlier in the game. To move forward a little bit more efficiently. It would be handy. Yeah.
So you had stated earlier that you started out working for other people and then you started your business on the side.
Yes.
So from there, from starting your business on the side, how did you decide, or how did you come to the realization or the decision that, okay, this is it. I'm not working for anyone else anymore. I'm going to start my business on my own. And how did you come to that realization? Can you talk me through a little bit about that?
Well, I'm a big person and believer in like manifesting things. But I like to set things up, and it is a big leap, but at the same time, if I knew it was something I wanted to do, by the time I actually started my business, I had been working on it for a while. I mean, you're never 100% ready. That is for sure. But if you can work at things while you're building it up, then I think that's way like less intimidating, and you can build up your clientele or whichever you're doing, before you're actually there. So I would have people come to my house before I worked at my waxing job, and I'd have people come after work. So they're very, very long days, but that's what I wanted to do to get to where I really wanted to be. That's what made sense for me. On my lunch breaks, I'd be working on graphics or different things like that. So I was really focused, and it's really what I wanted to do. And I found anytime that I could, I filled it with the things that I really wanted to make my life. I wasn't focusing on then and now. I was focusing on what I really wanted my life to be and how I wanted my future to be and how I wanted to shape my future. So I guess I got to the point working for this other company. I had all the money that I made on the side building my beauty business.
Right.
I tried my best to save it to reinvest in my end product or things like that. So I started off with just getting the basics, and then I slowly added more and more. And then from there, I guess everything just kind of shifted, and my life just put me in this position. I was like, well, it's now or it's when are you going to make this decision? I was living with a roommate in my basement apartment in the city, And I had clients come to me, and it's very difficult working from home. I mean, it's awesome when you can have clients come to your house if you have a space, but it was really difficult because, you know, if you're right next to your kitchen or whichever, you want to make sure that everything always is neat and tidy for when they come over.
Right.
You still have to put on an appearance for them. Well, I feel that way anyways.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I agree.
You don't want to cook or have your apartment smell like you just made some food when your clients come over. I mean, most people understand, but at the same time, I didn't want to provide that type of environment for my client. So those things made it a little difficult to balance out. But I got to a point where my roommate and I were moving out, and my option was to rent a space, or because where I was moving, I couldn't do it. I was like, my options are I lose all my clients and everything I had just been working on for the past couple of years, or I find a space and I make this work. And so I found a space, did a lot of research. It's not the easiest thing to find a good spot. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what the right price point was. I had no clue, but I mean, you do develop a bit of a business plan. In my mind, I didn't call it a business plan because I don't really have a business background. I just kind of had to figure this out on my own. But I was like, okay, well, if I do this many clients now and I had more time to do more clients and I had a space, like I could probably get this many clients. And so, I mean, I went into the mindset of I'm just going to do as much as I can to make this work. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, I tried, and really I'm not going to give up. But I'm going to, at least I know I tried. And if it doesn't work, then it's not because there was zero effort or I did something wrong, quote unquote, I guess. But there's no really way of doing something wrong unless you're being a mean person, I think. But you're trying, and you're trying to do good for your business. You're trying to make a positive impact on the people around you. Then I think that at least, you know, you're doing honorable for what you're trying to achieve. And it's worked so far. So I've grown a lot.
Well, we're constantly learning, right? I mean, you never get to a point where you know everything and you're all set and you're completely happy, and you're always working on things and trying to improve things, right? As an entrepreneur.
And I love that personally. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be a farmer because a farmer. You're surrounded by animals. Well, I wanted to be an animal farmer because there's always something to do. And I loved that there was always something to do. I could always change things, move things, like do this or that. Now I don't think I'd make the greatest farmer because I like to wear heels all the time. But
I don't think that would be too well.
But I like the idea of you're constantly growing, you're constantly developing yourself. In terms of when I was growing up, I didn't have the greatest self-esteem, and I actually failed grade 2 because I didn't know how to read. So that's actually something that I've overcome. I mean, it's definitely
good for you. That's awesome.
In terms of my business is writing things and how to make things sound as fluent and make sense as possible. But I've grown and developed, and my self-esteem has grown a lot just because I've pushed myself to learn new things. So
that's amazing, Jordana. I think that's so admirable and good for you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, you had mentioned some of the challenges you had faced early on in the business with having clients in the home and things like that. Was there any one challenge you could say in particular when you look back that was the most difficult for you?
I guess in the beginning, when you're learning a new skill, especially all things that I offer are skills, and you have to practice. Not having someone to go to when I didn't know what I was doing wrong. So if I was, for example, doing an eyelash extension set and the client comes back to me in like a week and they're like, I don't know why they're not staying. At the time, I was like, well, I'm looking at everything that I know. I'm looking at all my products, and I just had no idea why it wasn't staying. And that's very normal, very common for anyone just learning something new. Why is it not working the way it's supposed to? It's worked for other people. My product is fresh. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. But having someone to go to would have definitely made a huge difference. And that's something I now offer. I train people now in eyelash extensions. So that's one thing that I'm always like, push and tell people. I'm like, we'll give you as much information as possible, and I want you to keep coming back to me, send me photos. If you have any questions at any time, I want to be here for you because my goal is to make you grow and develop. And I think that is something that would have been awesome to have beforehand. But
that's amazing as a business owner. You're giving back to and solving the problem that you had to deal with and you had nowhere to turn. So in turn, you giving back by doing that, offering these services to your staff. And so that's amazing. That's really incredible that you do that.
Well, I think it just makes sense to me. Like any other option, like why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I want these people to succeed. I mean, I don't look at the world as we're all competing. I mean, it's healthy competition, but at the same time, there's enough people in the world. Like there's also different attitudes and personalities. I'm not going to be the lash artist for everybody, but I'm going to do my best. And my goal is to make you happy. But at the same time, maybe you'll have a better conversation with someone else that's work is also similar or to what you're wanting. So I don't think that we're competition in a bad way. I think we're all here to elevate, make everybody a better standard and grow within it, because it's constantly growing and changing, as we've already talked about. But
yeah, that's an amazing, I think the exact same way there. I mean, as entrepreneurs, yes, for me anyways, I look at it as the only competition I have is me. As long as I'm bettering myself and I'm constantly improving, that's enough competition for me. I think there's enough work to go around for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And I try to, I mean, everyone's human. We're all like, I get jealous of things, but I try to turn that around and be like, okay, well, why am I jealous? What is this person doing that's making me jealous? Like, good for them. I'm proud of them. But like, what is it that's making me jealous? And so like, I like the way they made this picture. That looks pretty. Like, what did they do? How did they do that? Good for them. But like, how can I better myself to be not jealous of this person, or how can I benefit from this?
Right.
In a bad way.
I know in the photography community, there's most of the mindset, from what I've experienced anyways, is that like you and I are saying, that competition is just, it's not there. There's enough work for everyone. And we can go to each other with problems or questions or, bounce ideas off each other to get help from other photographers who have dealt with this kind of thing, or whatever the issue may be that we're having. Do you guys have that same kind of camaraderie and family type feeling in the beauty industry? Could you go to another salon of someone that you know and ask for advice or input on things and get positive feedback?
Well, that's what I was referring to with my teaching. I want to provide that as an option, and I want people to be afraid to communicate with me. And there are things that you have to kind of just figure out on your own. But if you come to me and it's something that I feel like, just keep practicing, this is what you need to focus on, do 5 and then show me your 5th picture kind of thing, instead of showing me every single one, because I know it's not going to be enough progress. But being able to kind of differentiate that in terms of what I wanted back in the day is like that kind of assistance would have been great. Because back then I was like, well, I don't know who to talk to. I don't want to bug anybody. Yeah. I heard stories of people complaining and this and that. And at the same time, you do pay for your training. So I couldn't go back to the person I paid to train me originally, and other people who had guided me. It wasn't really set up in the way that I could ask for assistance. But I do definitely have friends in the industry. If something's going on, I can definitely reach out to any of my friends that work in the beauty industry. I do try to build a team as well, even if they're not here directly in the studio. I always try to have other artists at hand. If I'm like, you know what, I'm not available, but I have this awesome artist as well, here's their work. I can reach out to them to see if they're available. And then we kind of trade each other that way, which I think is also beneficial in growing the industry. But then online is also great. Like there was a couple times where I had an issue with a product and no one else off the top of my head had been using it at the time. So I reached out to the online community of other people who had been using it. And I was asking if anyone had a problem with this product, because the company was taking a bit to get back to me, or if they had issues with this or what they did about this. So there's a lot online as well. And people are generally out there to help you if you just find the right outlets. It's pretty cool. I don't have a direct one that I go to. I just kind of do some Google researching and things pop up, which is great. And YouTube, everything's on YouTube now.
Yeah. And YouTube and Google. Google is our friend, right?
Every day.
What did you give up to get where you are today? What kind of sacrifices did you have to make to get to the point you're at now?
I guess in general, like I had to give up who I used to be to become someone else.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that, there's a lot of freedom that you give up, but you gain a lot of freedom when you kind of start your own thing. So, I'm working a lot more now than I used to be. I have 2 phones that are constantly going off, but I put that up that way. So that way my life is more balanced and I can do it. But at the same time, before, if you're working a job that's 9 to 5, you're only there 9 to 5. On occasion, you might stay later. You might have the odd extended project that you have deadline for, but I'm constantly working. And I mean, I love it. As we mentioned, it's a passion and I'd rather have it that way. I mean, I could leave my emails, I could leave my phone, but if I have a minute and it's an appropriate time, like if I'm out to dinner or something, I'm not going to answer my phone. But if I'm just sitting at home or I'm cleaning at home and a client emails me, I'll be like, oh, I've got a second. I can answer this right away. And I'd rather get back to them sooner than later. So that's one thing. I guess another thing that was pretty difficult is other people who aren't entrepreneurs, they're like, oh, well, you can take any day off that you want. So it's like, well, I can, but then it takes away from me getting things done. And instead of me saving that time to go to a wedding or go visit my grandparents or something like that, it's okay, I'm just going to go sit at a patio bar and drink all day. When I did that on my day off a few days prior, it's like, okay, well, you have to kind of balance those things out. You can't do that every week, but there's always something to do, especially in such a wonderful city like Toronto. There's always something to do. So balancing those things out was kind of tricky, but yeah.
It's funny that you say that, the entrepreneur myth, that people who aren't, as you said, entrepreneurs think, oh, you've got a very flexible schedule. You can do whatever you want. You can take as many days off. I just did a podcast interview with another photographer, and she was saying that she was talking about this exact thing. And she said someone had said to her, oh, you're so lucky you have your own business and you can take time off. And she turned around and she said, yeah, I traded in my 9 to 5 for a 7-day-a-week, 16-hour-a-day job. Yeah,
exactly.
That's flexibility.
Yeah. I have a bunch of, one great thing that once I changed my mindset when I originally was like, I've had enough of the lifestyle I'm living. I wasn't very happy. I wasn't going after my goals. And I was a yes person. I'm still a yes person, but I definitely spread out my yeses now.
Yeah.
Before a friend would be like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, come over. And I'm like, hey, well, if I do that, then I can't go to the gym. Then I'm spending money when I should be cooking at home and I have food in my fridge. And, just little things like that that add up if we're doing it every week. So eventually I said, no, I can't do these things anymore. I have to take care of myself, to better myself, to better, if you don't take care of yourself, then how are you supposed to be better for other people in your life?
Yeah, exactly.
So I eventually changed my mindset. And as soon as I did that, all these things started coming in the right direction towards me. It was really cool and very strange and bizarre at the same time, but that's back to the whole manifesting.
Exactly. Put it out to the universe and it will come back to you. That takes a lot of self-discipline though, when you've got people yapping in your ear, oh, come on, let's go do this. Oh, come on, let's go over here. Or let's go out for dinner, or it's hard.
Yeah. And they're generally like friends who love you.
Yeah.
Spend time with them and they're like, oh, like I miss you, I never see you. And I'm like, I miss you too. Like, don't think I don't want to see you. I love you so much. Come to my studio and hang out with you.
Yeah, hang out at my work.
Do that either, but the balance, you have to balance it out for sure.
Absolutely. Balance is key, and it's tough. It's pretty tough to find that balance at times, but if you don't, again, this goes back to what we were saying earlier about not taking time for you and not taking care of yourself, you're going to burn out, and then your business is going to suffer. And
definitely, yeah,
it's a constant balancing act. That's key. Definitely. Time management and balance is absolute key in being an entrepreneur, and it's not always easy. That's for sure.
Definitely. And at the same time with that, if you work really hard for 6 months, you can be years ahead of the game. So depending on where you are at in your development, keep that in mind too. Like maybe push yourself, but not till the edge.
Yeah, exactly.
A little more, maybe instead of working 8 hours, work 10 hours on those days that you have that availability.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, I'm really into this project. Let's just work a little bit longer today. I do find that really helps to really stay focused and get stuff done. But taking that downtime is definitely necessary for sure.
How would you define success? What does that mean to you? What is success?
I think success is really just once you accomplishing your goals. I think that would be a simple way of breaking that down. So if you set little goals every day, like it's great. You feel accomplished. You feel like you're doing things, but at the same time, if you're working towards large goals, like, oh, one day I want my I want to be in New York and working with like celebrities. If that's your goal, like that's awesome. But you can set little goals like leading up to that. Like, okay, like today I want to do this. Today, like next year I want to be there, kind of thing. So slowly accomplishing your goals definitely, I feel like, is a way of building your success. Because if you have like an unattainable goal right now, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't go after it, because you are capable of doing anything, really.
Right.
It might take time, and everyone's time and how long it takes you to get there is different. But I definitely feel successful when I accomplish something that seems impossible.
I don't know about you. I'm a list person. I love making out lists, and being able to cross things off that list every day is such huge satisfaction for me.
Oh yeah. So see, like that's like a middle, like, accomplishing things off your list on a regular basis definitely feels like success. The more big things you cross off that list feels better. So I definitely feel like that's what success feels like for me.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that could range from little things to big things, but when something is very challenging, I do think it's also important to remind yourself of the reward of that, being like, you know what, I did this, let's acknowledge it. I mean, you definitely always want to focus on, personally, I like to focus on growing and always like becoming, like enhancing and things like that. But if you, I lost it. If you're focusing on growing and you're constantly being like, okay, did this, now onto the next, without being like, oh, yay, okay, great, I'm so happy I got that accomplished. Like that was a big deal. Now it's done, and now I know how to do this next time I have to do it, or I'll never have to do that again, kind of thing. So celebrating those little successes are also important. Maybe not being like, woo, champagne, but to be like, I did this is great, and then moving on. Because otherwise I find myself, I get stuck in even like decorating my studio. I'm constantly trying to add things all the time, because if you constantly are buying like all these little cute pillows and stuff, that adds up. So I try to do it over time, and every time I come in, I haven't seen a while, they're like, oh, that's new, and I'm like, you know what, that is new. That wasn't new last time we were here. And like, it just becomes so normal that I see it every day. But a client I saw a month ago, I've never seen it. So I try to recognize those things more, kind of stop and smell the roses a little bit more. Because otherwise they'll just pass you by. But
that's right.
Focusing on achieving them is good.
Is there, now you've been in the beauty industry for a while now, is there any other profession that you would like to make an attempt at? Is there anything else that interests you outside of the beauty industry?
Now that I've figured out what I love to do, there's so many things that excite me. It's crazy. When I was trying to figure out, I struggled a long time with accepting what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. And that was a lot of like self-esteem and feeling like, oh, can I make it as a makeup artist? Like, is there really any work out there? There is. You just got to find it. You got to make it a thing for you. But right now, I would love to become a tattoo artist and add that to my practices. I think that would be so cool to be able to do that for people. I think that would be awesome. But that'll be like, once this is settled, I can slowly add that in maybe, but we'll see.
So you would like to get training on that and learn that as well, and have that as a side thing.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. Well, I mean, at the same time, you could always, I find a lot of things nowadays, especially in big cities, is fusing things together. So now they've got barber shops with tattoo artists, or coffee shops, or alcohol being served in beauty salons and stuff like that. So they're all fusing businesses together these days. So it'd be kind of cool.
Really? They serve alcohol in
tattoos.
They serve alcohol in beauty salons?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of places that do that now. One thing that's on my maybe list in the future, that's something I would love to offer, is champagne and makeup and hair before your wedding or before an event. That'd be fun.
So you'd need to get a liquor license then from the government for that, correct?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea they did that. That's interesting.
Oh, they do. Don't steal my idea. No. Healthy competition. Do it.
If you could have one superpower, what would that be?
Time management. Oh my gosh. If I could control time, oh, that would be so much fun.
You're the second person to have that answer for that question. That's interesting.
That'd be awesome. If I had more time, oh, that would be great. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Can you share a situation, any particular situation that's occurred in your life that you feel has shaped who you are right now as a person? Is there any one pivotal moment that stands out for you?
Well, there definitely is a lot, but I guess I can bring it back to my very first job. I worked as a rose girl in a high-end hotel in Niagara-on-the-Lake.
Okay.
And within that job, they definitely had a lot of training in terms of customer service. So I think my training and from learning working in the service industry, because I also worked in restaurants for many years, and like being in that environment and that element, I definitely learned a lot about customer service and how important it is.
Yeah.
So I think that that definitely has shaped me as a person to this day, not just in business, but in when it comes to purchasing from a store or when it comes to relationships or meeting people for the first time. It's definitely developed a lot of who I am today. And I definitely hope to grow with that as well and kind of teach other people. But it definitely affected me for sure. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity that I didn't realize was happening, but it's shaped me greatly who I am today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, whether it be about life or business, what would that piece of advice be?
Definitely to love yourself more, for sure.
I love that answer. That's amazing.
Yeah, love yourself more. I generally try to think about other people, but I definitely wish I loved myself more and spoke up a little bit more and learned more of what my desires and my wants were more. I mean, you can do that with still being aware of other people's needs and desires and making other people happy. But I definitely feel like I wish I gave myself a bit more self-love and gained that confidence earlier on so I could have started my career or started developing myself and growing more at a younger age. I wish I could have, made that make more sense.
Yeah. Is there one piece of advice you could give to women out there who are listening that want to get into or start their own business, but are whether hesitant or scared about making that leap? Because I mean, you and I both know as entrepreneurs, it's a huge step and it's a very scary and tough thing to do to jump into that world. Is there one piece of advice you could give to other women who are maybe thinking about taking that step but unsure?
Oh, there's so many things. Okay. Well, I guess continuing the love yourself part is definitely it. A lot of you kind of just have to push yourself and believe that it's going to happen. Like no matter what, even if my business goes under tomorrow, like life is going to go on. The world is not going to end.
Right.
You figure it out. Like when I'm faced with a problem and I can't sleep at night about it, I remind myself, I'm like, this happens to so many people all the time and the world's not going to end. Like you'll be fine. It's okay. You'll be okay. Yeah. But on top of that, I think my biggest thing that really, really helped me and really pushed me was surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs and other people that were really focusing on developing and growing similar to how I was. I still to this day work with a group of people who own an event company called X Events, and I love them so much. And I do not think I'd be where I am today without them. I have other friends as well who do a side hustle or just have that mindset of just focusing and growing and believing in more than just a 9-to-5 and believing in yourself and pushing and helping you feel like you can succeed. So surrounding yourself with the right people who are goal setting and wanting to grow and just develop and learn more. I definitely find was the best thing that happened to me. It was just being around the right kind of mindset people.
I love that. Excuse me. I love that piece of advice. Surround yourself with the right people, with like-minded people, because as they say, like attracts like. So
yeah. And I mean, you kind of develop habits of those people you surround yourself with. Like, I think it's like they say, the 5 people you spend the most time with, you end up developing those types of habits. So I mean, if you're around people all the time who sit and just hang out and watch TV or play video games, cool, that's really fun. But if that's all like the people you hang out with, that's what you're going to probably end up doing. But if you surround yourself with people who are like, oh, you know what, let's like go to the gym and eat like some healthy food after, like a breakfast together, like some eggs and blah, 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 or whichever. Then you're more than likely going to do that a little bit more frequently versus, or, staying up late at night versus getting up early in the morning, whatever works for you. It's not to say that those aren't bad. Those are bad or good. It's just for me, I find I'm more successful getting up early in the morning, going to the gym, and then going and focusing on my tasks versus sleeping in and staying up late. But there are other people who stay up late and that's when they get the most work done. So just you and you can find other people that you click with and grow that way as well. So it just depends what your goals are.
Okay. Interesting. I like that though. Surround yourself with like-minded people. And lastly, what does the word empowerment mean to you, Jordana? When you hear that word, what comes to mind? What do you think of?
Empowerment, I feel like with that word, empowerment meaning you have the confidence to do anything. Like you believe in yourself so much, you believe in something so much that you know whatever it is, it's just going to work. You're going to figure it out. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think I've taken up enough of your time, and I'd like to
No
thank
worries.
you
It's
for
fun.
joining me. Once again, excuse me, my name is Brad Walsh, the host of the Empowerography podcast. My guest today was Jordana Bachelor, owner of Be Beauty. And thank you so much for being with me today, Jordana, taking the time to chat and share your insights and answer my questions and just be here and chat. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Jordana. We'll talk soon. Have
Okay.
a
Thank
great
you, Brad.
day. Bye.
Bye.